Hello, my name is Jordan Sloan, and this is my freelance placement year presentation. To start off with, before I start talking, I was not lucky enough to get a job, so most of my presentation will be focused on the solo work I've done on projects and to improve my own skill set. So what I have done is worked on a project called The Lost Soldier, which I ended up abandoning because of demotivation, which led me on to work on my next project, Between Time, which I'm still currently working on. I also completed online courses in the areas that I wasn't as strong in, and I struggle with more, whilst also making sure to attend networking events whenever possible. So moving on to my first project, The Lost Soldier. What is it exactly? It's a first-person shooter and survival game. It's set on a secluded island covered in forestation, where the player is a soldier has been taken away from his squad and is tasked with making it to the rendezvous point whilst fighting local militia on the island without knowing if their squad has actually survived the encounter or not. It is inspired by a 2007 book called Lone Survivor by a soldier himself, Marcus Luttrell, who was a soldier who was attacked in Afghanistan with his squad by the Taliban and was the only survivor for 3 days, fighting them off and escaping the island. It also draws inspiration from a personal favourite franchise of Sniper Ghost Warrior, which is a game about you being basically a sniper in a forest, fighting off different militia and all, and completing certain missions. So for the beginning of the project, I set up a Trello board to keep track of different tutorials, resources, inspirations from media, and art style inspirations, whilst also including what else I'd be doing, like sound design and like attachment swapping and stuff like that. I also set up a Miro board where I outlined stuff like the game overview, the gameplay loops, the enemy AI I'd be having in the game, the target audience for the game, also mechanics and inspirations for making the game, whilst also having art style inspirations included on it as well. This slide here shows custom animations I made for the weapons and the first person arms. For example, these animations here are reload and inspection animations for both the assault rifle and the pistol itself, among other animations like reloading when the ammo clip still has ammo in it, and also aiming down sights. This slide here leads on to the aiming down sights programming. The code is on the bottom of the slide there of how I made that, and it also shows the pitch and yaw for the recoil of how I made that as well for custom recoil patterns for both weapons. I only got the handgun made because the assault rifle was a lot more complicated, so I ended up reusing the same recoil for the assault rifle while adjusting it. This here is also the level design flowchart I made for the prologue of my game. Basically, I designed it on draw.io and I outlined where I'll be doing combat scenarios, exploration scenarios, and then events, cutscenes, and the difficulty and length of each of these encounters, which can be seen on the screen right now. What I learned during the production of this game before I abandoned it was how to create custom weapon and first-person arm animations within Unreal itself for a YouTube tutorial. I also learned how to create custom recoil patterns, as you saw of the recoil curves for the X and Y axes. I also learned that it's better to set goals and personal deadlines rather than diving right into it, which is what I stupidly did for the first couple of weeks, which then caused me to lose focus in certain parts and then get lost on my way. I also learned to take on any feedback and all feedback, as I took this game to a Play My Demo as well, and the feedback I got helped me to learn that designing a game just on your own and just to your own liking is not good in the grand scheme of if you want to release your game, because other people might not enjoy it the way that you've enjoyed it. I also learned to not overscope your own abilities, as I was adding in stuff like, oh, I'm able to make this part or make this part. I can add like 7 different enemy AI. And then when I came to it, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing for this. So I've learned not to ever do that again, thankfully. And this leads me on to my current project as well, Between Time. What exactly is it? It's a first-person mystery game with horror and sci-fi aspects. It's set between 2 time periods in the same locations, in London 2030 and London 1990. And it follows a dad who's following a trail of notes left behind by his daughter who has gone missing between these two time periods, as she's been kidnapped and he's trying to hunt her down and try and find her. It's also inspired by another favourite game of mine, Titanfall 2, which campaign mission 5 called Cause and Effect, where the player travels between two time periods as well to try and discover what happened to the captain that was killed, while also trying to make it through the level. It also takes inspiration from Doctor Who due to the time aspects within it, and also I'm taking inspiration from the Weeping Angels for one of my enemy types as well. I also, to start with this project, made sure I outlined a Trello board to make sure I had everything in one place, so I understood where I was going with the project and how to make it properly. I haven't fully made my mirror board yet. I've begun it, but I'm going to step back from what I've made so far and finish off my mirror board from here on out. I also made a tutorial flowchart for this, which takes the exact same inspiration from the Lost Soldier one. It shows the player arriving in the warehouse, walking around, so on and so forth, leading the player learning new abilities and all, and how to use them. Here is just a couple of GIFs and code of some of the abilities used. In the left hand side here, it's my time jump ability, which the player can activate to jump between the two time periods, which is set to where there's the same level duplicated, but one's made for the future or the present day, and one's made for the past, so there's a drastic difference in look. And on the right hand side is my teleport ability, which takes inspiration from Dishonored franchise for the blink ability, so the player can make it through certain areas of the level which might not be accessible until they use the ability. This slide here shows item inspect and also a note reading code, which I took inspiration from Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village for, to help add more of an immersion for the player, instead of them just picking up a note and it's just covering a small part of the screen. So I've got it to cover the whole screen so the player can get immersed within an overall narrative being told of the father's daughter and her messages left behind on her journey of trying to escape. I have also currently working on as well a Figma board, which is working on low fidelity wireframes for my custom menus within the game, and I'm currently working on high fidelity wireframes as well. What I've learned so far is how to create a custom note reading system, which was shown in the GIF earlier, which can be really helpful for making future games and designing a narrative. I've also created a custom item inspection, which was seen as well, which was inspired by Resident Evil. And also I've learned how to swap between two levels by having a player camera on the opposite level that you want to teleport to, and then once you teleport to it, it swaps the camera to the other level. I've also learned how to create custom lighting and how to get the lights to flicker for each level to create more of a level immersion and to give out more horror aspect to it. And I've also learned for this project to take my time, unlike the Lost Soldier one where I was rushing for everything, because taking my time has allowed me to polish off certain areas way better than I had before. I also have been taking online courses in between for the likes of Audacity, which is a sound design program that I've been using to help create my own sounds for the games as well and for the future, and also level design projects using the landscape and foliage tool. I've taken 2 courses on that so far, and on this slide here I've learned how to take a more realistic environment one and create better lighting, more information, more different aspects within each level. And I've also started a Blender course so I can create my own 3D models as well instead of using outsourced ones, so I can have everything in the project be more unique to my own touch and help improve all my skill assets and aspects. I also attended 4 events so far this year, mainly playing my demo on October 2nd, which was quite helpful for me. I've also attended Play My Demo on February 5th there, which is also quite helpful. And I've also attended the Careers Fair that was in the Ulster University itself and the XR Festival for the Art of Noise. For the first Play My Demo, I brought my game The Lost Soldier for playtesting, and I got critical feedback on how to make the game more fun and how to basically make it better in certain aspects. I also reviewed other games to get insight on how other people have designed their games and what design approaches they took, which I also learned by speaking with other developers as well. The Careers Fair, I got speaking with Buck Egypt Games, Billy Go Entertainment, and the NI Civil Service for Web Design, because I have a past on my A-levels for digital technology where I worked on web design. I also attended a talk afterwards, which included three lovely people, Jesse, James and Keelan. I spoke with James afterwards as well about what sound design programs he uses so I can upgrade on Audacity, because Audacity is limited into what sound design and what sound editing you can do. For the second time at the event, I didn't bring a game because I had abandoned the Lost Soldier project and I wanted to take a step back and review other games as well and see what approaches other developers took and to try and rebuild my motivation, which it worked and helped me gain motivation to start working on Between Time. I also attended the XR Festival, The Art of Noise, where I listened to different panels and they talked about how like the sound design, music, all that different stuff helped with influence and designing on other games, on movies, on adverts. I spoke with some of the other panelists afterwards about how I can include this stuff in like games, how to get the player more immersed, which helped me gain quite a lot of insight into how sound would work well in games and other media. What I've learned during the year is to not to be afraid to step out of my comfort zone, because originally I was quite scared meeting new people, felt a bit uncomfortable going to those events, but after going to them, it's given me a lot of more motivation, a lot more insight to how other people deal with their struggles and all that stuff. Also, I learned to set up my work more, because instead I usually just jump right in and then do like set it afterwards or get lost in between. So setting out my work this year has really helped me a lot. I've also learned to believe in my own ability instead of doubting myself constantly, which led to periods where I just stopped touching my game at all. I've also learned that feedback is 100% critical to help with designing your game for a wider audience rather than keeping it just to yourself. And also, don't be afraid to ask for help is 100% something that I've learned to do better, because not asking for help and just getting stuck, constantly getting annoyed is not the way to go. Asking for help doesn't bring you down. It just shows that there is people out there who understand what you're going through and they can help with your project as well. Personally, throughout the year, I've enjoyed developing my games. I've also enjoyed developing my new skills and developing upon ones I already have, the online courses and YouTube courses as well. I've also enjoyed meeting new people through events, like the men on the NI Civil Service. They've said about job opportunities to look out for once unit's finished for web design, because it's something they'll be looking out for. And also, Jesse, James and Keelan mentioned earlier. James was a lovely man about helping with sound design and all. What I didn't enjoy was the motivation and self-doubt because of my own stupidity mainly, and because I just felt like I was getting nowhere from my own projects and what I was doing throughout the year. And personally, I feel prepared for final year and beyond for graduation as well, as I have learned and become more stronger as a person and how to develop my own stuff, talk to more people and put myself more out there rather than being enclosed in my own space and just get my stuff done and being done with it. I learned to show it off more, and I've learned more skills to help me with any future projects I work on, so that I have a wider range of skill sets rather than being narrowed down just to one. And thank you so much for listening to my presentation.